Hi everyone, we are back with another school snack series video. Sorry you guys are bouncing a little bit, just trying to straighten out the camera. It'll stop in a sec. Had a few technological difficulties again this morning. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I think we got it worked out. You guys are a little bit high over here maybe. I'm just going to take a quick second and see if I can straighten that out so maybe you can see a little bit better what's going on the counter here. I'm not sure. I got a new stand, so we're just kind of working out the details on this. And for some strange reason, my iPad, where I usually broadcast to the group, isn't letting me do a live video. So I had to switch things up and switch around the way we're doing it, but that's okay. We'll get it looked after. So we're back today with another recipe, quick and easy and gut healthy, so that you can be laying down the foundations of good health for your kids, because we all know, and if you don't know, then please let me know in the questions below how the gut relates to your child's overall health. When we've got a good, healthy foundation going on here in the roots of our tree, the rest of the tree is healthy and vibrant and beautiful. So these recipes in the school snack series are simple, quick things that you can do, usually for the most part, to pack those school lunch kits full of all kinds of goodness that's going to keep your kids healthy and energetic and just going as strongly as they can throughout their day. If you want a copy, you don't want to maybe watch the videos all the time, but you'd like to get copies of these recipes, then please join my free community. I have a free community at kidshealthrevolution.com, and there's a little join the community button at the top, so you just click there and then you'll get the email copy of the recipes right into your inbox every week. And then you'll also be prompted to join us over on the private Kids Health Revolution group here on Facebook, where I put in the file section a copy of the recipe as well. And that's a great community of people, wonderful parents over there in our great community, lots of questions and answers and support. Really love what's going on over there. So if you have a child that has some sort of health concern that you're trying to help them with, chronic health concern, anything really, it can be eczema, asthma, allergies, autism, you name it, arthritis, pandas, pans, any of these things, coming into that private group is a wonderful place for support and a great place to get inspiration from other parents that are on the same journey as you are in trying to use nutrition and gut health as a way of building this healthy, strong foundation for our kids in moving forward with their health, no matter what their health problem is. So we're making today zucchini fritters. So zucchini I find to be kind of a tricky vegetable for a lot of kids. I don't know why. A lot of kids just don't love zucchinis. So fritters I find are a friendly way to get them into our kids, as well as muffins and pancakes and things. But fritters are a nice little option to make for an accompaniment to dinner, or something to go with their snack, or as a treat in the school lunch kit that's not necessarily a sweet or a fruit. So this recipe again is using plantains. I am a big fan of the plantain when it comes to making some of these gut healthy recipes. If you are one of my GAPS families, then you will use, instead of plantains, you're going to use bananas that are on the green side. So the greener you can get them, the better. And if you're on the GAPS diet, you will know that green bananas are not gut healthy, or sorry, they are gut healthy, but they are not permitted on the GAPS introductory diet. The reason for that being that they have a little bit too much of the starch in them for that introductory phase of the diet. So either you would skip this recipe for a while until you're ready to introduce some of the more starchy foods, or you could go with a riper banana, but you're going to have more of a sweet zucchini pancake than it's going to be a fritter. And that's okay too. That's not a problem. So for the GAPS people, when I post the recipe, I will post the GAPS recipe for you. It is slightly different. Really, the measurements are about the same. The only difference is For the gaps, people that are using the green bananas, we're also using 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. If you're using the plantains, you don't need to use the coconut flour, okay? Because they sort of absorb liquid on their own. So I have here some zucchini that I've chopped up. And what I like to do in the recipe is to sort of grate or grind up my zucchini first, and then set it aside and do the plantain. So we're just gonna zip this up, and I will tell you the measurement in just a moment. Okay, so we're gonna do about 1.5 cups of zucchini going into this recipe. And all you need for this recipe is zucchini or green bananas, zucchini, plantain, or green bananas. If you're doing green bananas, you need coconut flour and salt and some oil. And that's all you need. Okay, so that's about 1.5 cups of the grated zucchini. Now, I kind of know that just because I've made this recipe so many times. If you need to, cut up some of zucchini, throw it into the blender, grind it up, measure it out. If you need more, you can add more. So when the plantains are really green like this, they are more starch than sugar. And the starch in the plantains, especially once it cools, is a great source of prebiotic. If you've been watching me at all on these, I've talked about that before. You've heard me grind on and on about prebiotic fiber and how good that is for feeding our gut bugs, depending on where you are on your kid's gut healing journey. If you're in the very beginning stages and you've got a lot of dysbiosis going on in there, you'll probably avoid prebiotic fibers for a time. And then after you've done some healing and balanced things out, and you're feeding the good bacteria back into your gut with probiotics from fermented foods, then it's a great time to start bringing the prebiotic fibers in, because those fibers are the ones that feed the gut bugs and give them a nice happy home, a place to hang around in. So this is about 1.5 large plantains, which works out to be about 2 cups of plantains when they're sliced up like this. So 1.5 large plantains or 2 cups sliced. And then I just put these into my blender, and we're gonna kind of give them a coarse chop. Now, this is one recipe I actually really prefer to do with my food processor, but my food processor broke, so we're making it work with the blender. Okay, and I just give it a coarse chop there, you can see. And that's about how you want it, because then we're gonna blend everything back together. Now we're gonna go in here and add a good teaspoon of Himalayan rock salt or good quality sea salt. And then we're gonna put our zucchini back in. And I like to just use a spoon and kind of give it a little hand up in mixing itself around, and then we're gonna blend this together. This is probably the most time consuming part of it, is just getting it all nicely mixed together when you're using the blender. It's easier when you're using a food processor. Okay, so let's just give this a little pulse. Okay, and then I go back and forth with pushing it down from the sides. You want to get it so that it's pureed up enough that it's kind of a little bit sticky, but I don't want it to be a complete liquid batter like a pancake batter. I still want some chunks in there. Okay, I'm going to take a second and just check, because I have another batch happening here in the oven. I'm just going to take those out before I burn them. My glass is fogged up. Okay. So back and forth we go with this, just scraping down the sides. I do find that the spoon kind of works a little bit better with this than the spatula, because then you can get the bits that get stuck under the blade. Again, food processor, you won't have to worry about it quite as much. And if you're using the green bananas for the GAPS recipe, you're gonna find that they puree down into a softer liquid. And that's okay. It's going to be a slightly different texture than the plantain. But it's quicker. You don't have to do quite so much back and forth. You can also use, where is my temper? There it is. You can go in with this little handy dandy guy. And I do this fairly low, like about a 2 or a 3, because again, you don't want to completely puree this. So you can see now it's kind of got a little bit of a sticky look to it, right? But there's still chunks in there. That's what we want. That's the kind of batter that we want to have going. So just a note on flavorings. These are plain zucchini fritters, but you can certainly flavor them up. I often like to add herbs, onion, dehydrated onion, a little bit of dehydrated garlic. You could use fresh garlic too if you wanted to. It'd be a bit more potent, but it's nice to add a little spice to sometimes with a bit of paprika or some cayenne pepper if your kiddos like spicy stuff and they're open to it. That's an option as well. You could do a little bit of lemon rind in there, all kinds of different ways that you can flavor this up. So try them plain, try them with some spices added to them and see what you like. That's the nice thing is you can flavor it up and change it up so it doesn't taste like the same thing all the time, right? So then what we're going to do is we have a cookie sheet where I have pre-melted about a tablespoon, a good heaping tablespoon of coconut oil. And you want a fair bit of oil in your pan for this recipe so that you get that nice sort of fried texture to it. You can certainly fry them in a frying pan. I do that sometimes, but I just find this way more efficient if I'm batch cooking them. To have in the fridge or the freezer. I way prefer to get them on the cookie sheet and then pop them in the oven and I don't have to worry about it. These ones went in at 390 and I put them in for about 10 or 15 minutes on one side and then flip them over and cook them on the other side. So you're just looking for a nice crispy brownness on the outside. And if they're fairly chunky, if they're fairly thick, if your patties are fairly thick, then what you'll want to do is turn your oven down and leave them in. So what I will usually do is cook them for their 10 or 15 minutes on each side to get that nice fried sort of brown texture, nice crispiness. And then I will turn the oven right off and leave them in for another 15 or 20 minutes. And that just helps them cook through. Otherwise, you can end up with a bit of a raw texture in the middle, and really, raw green plantain is not a pleasant taste. So you want to make sure you get them cooked through. And I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. Okay, so I'm not going to continue doing all of these in front of you, but I take a good, heaping tablespoon. I'm not always precise in my measurements of making even patties. You don't have to be either. This is about efficiency, right? So big heaping tablespoon like that and just scooch it out onto your cookie sheet. And then I flatten it out with my fingers or the back of the spoon. They don't have to be perfect. Remember, these are fritters, so they can have like jagged edges, and that's all totally cool. Now, sometimes I will sprinkle a little extra sea salt on the top or some herbs as well. And then into the oven they go, 10 to 15 minutes on each side. And when they come out of the oven, can I touch that with my fingers? Yes. They look like that. This is the plantain one. So now let's see if these guys have been in long enough because I've had them in the oven quite a while. Yeah, they're good. So I'm just going to show you there. You can see that the plantain in the middle has cooked. And the other way to test it is taste it. And it tastes good. It doesn't taste really raw, doughy. Raw plantain has this really weird sort of texture to it and taste. You'll know if it's still raw. Okay, now if you're doing the banana ones, these ones are cold in the fridge, so they look a little bit different, but these ones got a little dark on me, but these are the banana ones. So you can see that they're not quite as coarse in their texture. They're a little flatter, but they're still really tasty. Again, a little bit sweeter on this one because it's a banana, and this one is the plantain. This one's a bit more savory tasting. But if you're doing the GAPS diet, the green banana can work just fine for you. And if you're transitioning off of the full GAPS diet, then plantain is a great place to start in bringing in some of these prebiotic fibers. There you go, you guys. That's simple. It takes a couple minutes to make. I don't know how long we've been on the air. I don't have any way of telling at the moment. But as long as we were chatting here, it took me to grind this up into the oven for about half an hour, let them cool, and then you've got a lovely crunchy, can you hear that? Treat for your kids to take to school. You can serve these at dinner. I batch cook these up, so I would usually make more. So my pan would be, you know, chock-a-block full of these, and then put them in the freezer. They're great for traveling. We're going to be making some of these to take with us on our trip to Barcelona coming up very soon, which reminds me, I will be off and away for the next couple of weeks, not doing videos for the middle of September. So my family's going on a lovely trip to Barcelona, Spain. My son's so excited. We're going to see his hero, Messi, play soccer and just check out the vibrant city that is Barcelona. So I will post some recipes that you guys can use, and ideas and things that I've gotten from other places. And then I will be back with you with another video at the end of September. Is it the end of September, or am I lying to you? Yeah, no, I am lying to you. It's actually October. So I'll be coming to you live again in the beginning of October with another Kids Health Revolution recipe. In the meantime, go back in the file section of the private group and make some of the recipes that are from older videos, and make some of the recipes that I've posted before, make some of the recipes from other sites that I'm gonna post before I leave. You're gonna have lots of ideas and lots of things to keep you going through September. And then when I get back in October, we'll start up with some new recipes and things that you can do. If you have questions about this recipe or anything gut health related or related to helping your child in a holistic way to improve their health, then please, please, please make sure you post it below. I'm happy to scroll through and answer any of your questions as they come up for you. And if you like this video and you're on the regular Kids Health Revolution page, please share it with your family and friends. The more people we can get into this idea that eating healthy in a gut-healthy, gut-friendly way doesn't have to be complicated, and that it can be super yummy, the better it's going to be for all of us. So share it, please. And I think that's it, you guys. Make sure you check the files section or your email for your copy of the recipe. Will be coming right at you later this afternoon. So take good care. Oh, Sonia's telling me something. Yes, thank you, Sonia. I will enjoy it. Maybe, I don't know how much the nightlife will be enjoying with the kiddo in tow, but you know, we'll see what comes up, right? So take good care, everybody, and we'll see you again in the end of October.